Any other questions? Good.
I have one.
Yeah.
Tell us about the movie star appearance with the movie. You mentioned Terry Fox.
Terry Fox I mentioned a number of times, but I had an opportunity back in 2005. They did a new Terry movie on CTV. It was made. And they were looking for someone to do the running scenes. They had an actor play the lead role. His name's Shawn Ashmore. He's a Canadian, but he's living in LA most of the time now. He came up and played the lead, but they needed someone similar to his body shape to do a number of the running scenes, because the special effect and artificial leg on Shawn Ashmore, they can do that, but it's quite expensive, and it was cheaper to actually find an amputee. So they looked around, but they needed to find an amputee that could run, and it was somewhat fit. And me being in triathlon, they came across me. They came across about a half a dozen potential people to do it. And after looking at our running ability, our shape, height, and everything, they decided I was the best fit. This is back in '05, so 6 years ago. So I would have been 42 at the time. And so I ended up being the stand-in for Shawn Ashmore, who was in his early 20s. So what we dubbed me was because all the shots below the waist and all the shots from the back were me. So I became the butt double, because all the behind shots were me running. And it was quite an experience. We did quite a bit of filming in the Hamilton, Toronto area. We went up and filmed in North Bay, Wawa. And then we went out and did the last bit of filming out in St. John's in Newfoundland, which is actually the first part of the film, but learned a lot about film and how that all works, being part of it. But it was a real interesting experience in being able to be part of that. And then seeing the Terry movie, I thought it was a real good tribute to him. There was a Terry movie done quite a number of years ago, and I actually auditioned for that part, and I had just lost my leg the year before. And that one was a little darker side of Terry. I think the family was quite more happy with the CTV production, but it was quite a cool experience doing something like that, and it was a great tribute to Terry Fox. Yeah. Oh, a couple more.
My name's Margaret. I'm 47, and I did a try last year.
Excellent.
Rock. So I did 400 swim,
Yep.
12K on the bike, and 3K I call it crawling.
Yeah, okay.
At the end, so I walked. Basically, I walked. And I guess I'm just wondering, are there any female amputee triathletes in Ontario that would be up to go for it?
Yeah.
Talk to me and give me some advice.
There's a woman that's going out to Beijing. Kim Fawcett's her name. She's military. I would guess she's probably early to mid-40s. She's an above-knee amputee. She's been racing for, I think, about 4 or 5 years. And she'll be going out competing in Beijing as well. There were 3 males selected to go to Beijing, para-triathletes, and 3 females, and she's one of the females. So she's in Ottawa. I don't have her contact stuff handy, but if you Google Kim Fawcett, you might be able to find it, or look at the results from Beijing and hunt her down. That's in Canada. There's a number of U.S. female para-triathletes, below the knee and above the knee. Are you above the knee? Sarah Reinestat, who's from California. Are you familiar with the Challenged Athletes Foundation? Another thing you might want to Google, Challenged Athletes Foundation, CAF, C-A-F. They have a website and they have information, and they provide funding for athletes to go to world competitions and also for flex feet and stuff like that. But as well, they do have, I believe, some contacts there of amputees that might be able to help you out and answer some of your particular questions. Okay? But they are out there.
All right.
Excellent.
Is there karting, or how do you finance all these legs and the travel, and how do you get time off work? Do they allow you, or are you paid not?
You smile really well. We don't have karting yet. We only just became a Paralympic sport back in December. So the first true international Paralympics for triathlon will be in 2016 in Rio. It was basically an 8-year process to get selected, and then we still have another 6 years before we get there. So a couple people had talked about doing it, and the application, what have you, and it just seemed to fall off and fall off. So in my spare time, I chair the Para-Triathlon Committee for the International Triathlon Union. So I chair the committee that we put in this application. So now that we are part of the Paralympics, there will be karting coming in the future. But that's probably still a couple years down the road. Now for funding this year for Beijing for me, because we are part of the Paralympics, money did come from Sport Canada to Triathlon Canada, and that's how I'm able to go. So I am getting funding to go to Beijing. They're running a training camp the week before, so I'm part of that training camp with one of these 6 athletes, and then racing at the end. With respect to school, it's give and take. I was in for a fair bit of the summer teaching computers. Since I do teach computers, I take care of the computers and IT at the school. So I did computer setup for 5 days. So they're giving me a couple lieu days for that, and I got a couple personal days. So we're making things work. So
And the funding for the legs?
the funding for the legs, sport legs, are not funded through ADP, through anything. So this particular foot, actually, it's from Challenge Athletes Foundation. That's how I was able to get that, basically from here down. This was an extra socket that I actually was able to get from when we did the Terry movie. They had to make a couple legs like Terry's, so the socket had to fit me, though. So they donated me a socket at the end, so that's how I was able to get that. The socket on this, now, the sockets are standard, so it's not easy. And through insurance, I'm able to get walking legs, so sometimes you have to claim it as a walking leg, although it may not be necessarily a walking leg, but that's what it has to be initially designed for, and might use it for something else. The Challenge Athletes Foundation do help out, like I say, for running legs and running feet and stuff like that. So there are organizations around to help out. ADP, of course, pays very little for legs. Fortunately, being in teaching, we do have good benefits, so my benefits program has topped up the rest of my my legs. But when I first wanted to get a running leg, I was just told no, 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 and so I finally got the foot through there. But for things like cycling, because it's still like a standard leg, you're able to make it work. Anything else? Yep.
The Beijing triathlon,
Yep.
when is that going to be televised?
I don't know when it's going to be televised. I know they'll have it online through triathlon.org while it's actually going. Usually CBC covers it, and it could be 2 days after, it could be a week after. That being said, I think CBC covered some stuff live this year. Now, I don't think it'll be live because I'll be racing at 3 o'clock over there, which is 3 in the morning over here. So, but check out triathlon.org, and they should have some links there and be able to tell you when it'll be on, or even triathloncanada.com. They'll eventually post when they'll be showing things around here. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Grant. You're really an inspiration to
Oh,
this expertise.
oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for having me. Very good. Thank you.
Any more questions? Grant, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Kevin.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Very good.
We'll give you a few gifts.
Very good.
Including a Hotel Du T-shirt. So take a picture
Okay.
with it on in Beijing.
Very good. And we'll send it there, and as long as it goes up in the front lobby.
That,
Okay?
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, I smiled at Grant from across the room there when you were saying in the video about people that come up with you.
Yeah.
As Grant mentioned, I knew about him, but actually didn't get a chance to race in
Yeah.
the same race as you
Yeah.
until about a month and a half
Yeah.
ago. And ran my ass off to try and catch up to you so I could say hi. So by the time I caught, it's an honor to be in the same race with you. But and then I think you took off.
Yeah,
and
you
left
know.
me, but you know, it's true what they say. Seeing what you do, it certainly you know, made me forget about some of the discomfort trying to finish the race. And I'm sure I'll see you around in some of the races.
See you at the
coming up.
races.
And
Absolutely.
absolutely. And but thank you on behalf of all the staff and our patients here. As this fine young gentleman mentioned, that I know looking at their faces that you're an inspiration to them, and you know, as they were mentioning to you, it's not an easy thing to go through, but we're glad you took the time, and good luck in China.
Very good.
Bring us back a gold and come back again to show us.
That's my goal. Very good. Thanks again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.